Good evening and welcome to Freedom is a Constant Struggle with your host Kilu Nyasha, and board hopping is Stephen Leader. Tonight we anticipated bringing you Jennifer Friedenbach, who is the executive director of the Coalition on Homelessness. I don't know what happened. She has not arrived yet, but we're hoping that she will make it before the program is over. Meanwhile, I'm going to open our live line because the subject is homelessness. And our number is 415-621-4473. 621-4473. So if you'd like to join us and talk about homelessness, do give us a call. Before we go there, though, I did bring along some notes for my own information, so I'm going to share them with you. These were gleaned from Catherine Austin Fitts, F-I-T-T-S, website, solari.com. And she worked as, well, I can't remember her exact title off the top, but she worked at high levels of government in Washington, and she has worked with senators and presidents and so forth. So, but she has left government because of its criminality, frankly. By 2003, as she pointed out on her website, more than $4 trillion of undocumentable adjustments, quote unquote, undocumentable adjustments, had been reported at HUD, which is Housing and Urban Development, DOD, Department of Defense, and NASA alone. Since then, the federal government fails to account for additional billions each year as the U.S. commitment in Iraq leads to unprecedented spending with third-party contractors. We have a call coming in. Hello?
Hello.
Hello, you're on the air.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Good. This is John. I was just listening to you. So I was just going to wait until you finish your comment.
Oh, okay. But, well, you want to hang on and I'll finish it?
Sure. Why don't you finish your comment and then I'll speak.
All right. Okay. Good enough. So I'll reread that sentence. Where was I? Well, anyway, U.S. commitment in Iraq leads to unprecedented spending with third-party contractors, many under no-bid contracts and without meaningful contracting supervision. Finally, after years of manipulation in the precious metal markets, serious concerns are growing about the status of the U.S. gold stores. Has our gold gone missing as well? What happened? Beginning in 1995, numerous government agencies and the U.S. Treasury began annual announcements declining to publish audited financial statements. In the process of explaining itself, HUD announced undocumentable adjustments to balance its books in 1998 and 1999 of $17 billion and $59 billion respectively, declining to give a total for the undocumentable adjustments in 2000. In the process, the Office of Management and Budget solved the loan loss reserve problem by cooking the assumptions used to estimate costs, thus permitting issuance of greater amounts of mortgage credit with lax terms and conditions. Things got so bad that the chief of staff to the chair of the Senate Appropriations Subcommittee in 2000 confessed to me, meaning Catherine Austin Fitts, quote, HUD is being run as a criminal enterprise. The myths that there was a budget surplus during the Clinton administration or that the housing bubble began after the Clintons left office represent the partisan fantasies of Americans desperately searching for ways to avoid facing the real risks before us. John, are you still with us?
Oh, I'm still with you.
All right. Would you like to comment on that?
Yeah, I have a different view of this whole process. stealing money within HUD is no different than the defense budget and having them steal the money. With the way I was raised, when I listened to the older black family members talk, they didn't have maybe the academia background that we're looking at now, but what they would always talk is when the man talks left, you look right. And so I've grown up always looking and listening to whatever is being said in the paper, television, that it's always on the left. And it's funny, when you look to the right, it's always something. So when you're talking about HUD padding the books for what, trillions of dollars, billions of dollars?
Billions, yes, billions.
You know, that just, it reflects where? What does HUD deal with?
Well, HUD is responsible for subsidized housing, and if you'll recall,
exactly.
Yeah, if you'll recall,
and it hasn't changed.
Right, Reagan. When Reagan came in, he immediately cut well over almost $30 billion from HUD.
Well, it wasn't just the HUD. Reagan, you know, the young white kids and the young Asian kids, they idolized Reagan, and a few blacks and a few Latinos. They fall into that trap, but that man was sick. He not just cut HUD. It was all about the attack on the entitlement. And he took money from the educational system. We didn't have kids on the street like we did.
Do you know, John, excuse me, John, do you know that 1 out of every 50 children in America is homeless?
Yeah. It's not even just that. They found all those years from the 50s and the 60s that entitlement had blown up to a certain amount of money. And then after the Vietnam War basically had turned into a negative, after the right, or whatever the right called the left, and the hippies did whatever they did, they got pissed off. And the
Be careful of your language. We have FCC rules we have to observe.
You know, they just got so big to the point they understood that there was a formula. Take that money and put it back into that defensive budget. And that's where all that money went to.
Well, thank you so much, John, for your call. I want to make room for hope because we only have one live line. So thank you very much, and hopefully we'll get a few more calls.